Jatt is now joining me right now after the TSM 3-1 over C9. Just a couple quick questions. I know you're sick and Kobe bailed out on you, but we'll get into that in a second. First off, did you expect the TSM win? I feel like everybody did.
For the most part, I was thinking like 60-40 for TSM over Cloud9, but the whole split, I thought TSM would win. So at that point, maybe it's more than 60-40. Yeah. I really wonder, it wasn't actually as entertaining a series as I'd hoped for. Like the first two games were really good, but games 2 and 3 were just kind of stompy by TSM. Yeah.
Why do you think it is that we keep ending up in these TSM C9 finals? Like when will we escape the TSM C9 finals and see like some new blood come up?
It's a good question. I think we're closer than ever this split. Looking at Cloud9, I wonder if they're going to go into another split with exactly the same roster. Only because it's been a consistent decline from them, split over split, from 25-3 to 24-4 to losing 2 semifinal games to Team Liquid. I think the reason that we consistently see both of them up there is they're not only like the strong players, but the strongest organizations. Yeah. But I think we're getting a lot of strength in other organizations. Like Team Liquid's put a ton behind their team. CLG, as much crap as people like to give them, are a good organization. And like those teams will consistently improve. And unless Cloud9 is iterating to do that as well, they're going to fall behind. Yeah.
So you think there's a pretty good chance that unless they make a roster change, like we could see like a TL or a TIP or a CLG or somebody slide in? Yeah.
I think all three of those teams could slide in with like a few small improvements.
Yeah, the sense that I got, because I feel like we saw so many best of fives in Europe, but especially over here in North America during these playoffs, or best of fives go to full five. Do you think everybody's getting like much closer? There's a lot of people saying like TSM is the only team that can compete on the world stage, like over on Reddit and other community sites. Do you think that everybody's pretty close?
Like everybody in the world?
No. I just mean in North America, like at least top 6 teams. TL made it to semis, but they barely got into the playoffs in the first place, right?
So Team Liquid was a unique case, I feel like, because they had Piglet kind of come out of nowhere and actually start performing, and something clicked with that team down the stretch that I think made them much better. I do actually think TSM, especially after this finals, was kind of head and shoulders above all the other teams in North America. If we look at the way they were playing in most of the LCS split, they were testing stuff out in LCS games. Like they were scrimming regular season games is basically what it feels like they were doing. And when they kind of switch on serious mode, it seems like they're much better than the rest of teams in NA.
Why do you think they weren't able to 3-0?
I don't know. Like, seriously, it's starting to piss me off. They're like, oh, yeah, we'll lose the first one and win the next 3. Yeah. It's like, what?
Just for viewership hours, right? This is something Nick Allen has approached them. He's like, come on, guys. Like, if you just go one down, kills your voice. Okay, now we're going to MSI, right? We're going to see them play against arguably top teams from other regions. We saw them win at Katowice. Do you think this is a chance for, at least in like a big Riot tournament, for a North American team to show up?
It's going to be close. Yeah. So this is the tricky part, because we look at IM Katowice. GE Tigers choked. Team WE ended up being pretty good, but they still got crushed by TSM. Really small tournament, really small sample size. MSI is going to end up being a pretty small sample size. It's a mini Worlds. It's not a 5-week event. It's 4 or 5 days of games. I think there's definitely a chance. I definitely wouldn't put TSM as the favorites. Depending on what happens in Korea and the Chinese finals, I think those are the 2 top teams. TSM's a little bit below them. Then I think Europe, not making any enemies, I think Europe's below NA right now. Based on the quality of games in their finals, they're super entertaining, but there's a lot of strategic holes in their games. Looking at that, I think that's how it slots in. But there's a reason you play the games, so I think anything can happen.
It's funny, I hearing you say that you feel like we might be a little bit above EU, because I remember watching the broadcast and like one of the analysts said like, yeah, Europe, we really proved it today, and one of the casters I think chimed in and was like, EU greater than NA confirmed. So it's funny, I think that'll always be the struggle whenever we get to these events like MSI. I know you talk so much about the game on the broadcast, never talk about yourself, so a lot of people don't really know what it's like for you guys, but what happens now? Because you guys are done with the regular season and the playoffs, but now you've got MSI coming up. So for you and the rest of the casters, what happens next?
Right. I got PTL on Wednesday, promotion tournament next weekend, and another PTL before MSI. Okay. Then we do MSI. So outside of that, the thing I'll do for like MSI prep is I'll end up rewatching the pretty much all the patch 5.6 games from all the teams that make it to MSI. So Korea, China, Europe, NA, because it's going to be played on the 5.7 patch, which is really similar. So it's basically just kind of a reevaluation of strength, so I get trends and stuff like that from those games. Other than that, we talked at the start of the interview like, hey, Jatt and Kobe, Jatt, lost voice. We've actually both been kind of sick lately. Sinus infections. Kobe was much worse, so he couldn't go today. If it would have gone 5 games, my voice would have gotten pretty bad, I feel like. Outside of that, I've been having some voice issues of my own. And my first voice therapy appointment is tomorrow, which might not be that productive since my voice is kind of shot right now. We'll see.
What is a voice therapy appointment? Like, is there a chance that they're going to walk in there like, what have you been doing? You can't talk for the next month, and you're like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll be sure to be quiet for the next month, and then you go off to cast. I mean, what is a voice therapy?
Good question. Yeah. It's the result of several other doctor appointments. So I went to my main doctor. I got referred to a laryngologist or whatever, took like pictures of my throat and stuff, looked at my vocal cords. They're not super strong, but not terrible. And then they're like, well, because I've been getting a lot of voice pain for like the last year, so I eventually got that referral. Then I got sent to a speech pathologist who listened to me talk, recorded some stuff, showed me some exercises, and she referred me to another speech pathologist for 8 voice therapy lessons, which begin tomorrow. So it's mainly just exercises like best habits, which I knew a lot of best habits already because I basically speak for a living. But hopefully it gets better. Yeah. That's the plan.
Is this the result of you casting so much? Like, would you be having any of these issues if you were in a different occupation?
If I was in a different occupation that also talked a lot, I'd have the same issues. Typically speaking, I don't speak properly, is something I've learned because obviously all casters have problems with their voice after like long amounts of talking. But if I was a teacher or something, I'd have the same problems, which is the point of the voice therapy, to correct the way I'm speaking because there is something incorrect about what I'm doing.
Is this like a Canadian thing?
It's actually, interestingly enough, it's a family thing. Okay. So generally, if your parents don't speak properly, you mimic what they do. And my dad doesn't speak properly.
When you say speak properly, you seem very well spoken. What do you mean by not speaking properly? It's just like the way the voice comes out? Yeah,
absolutely. Every word counts. Actually, there's a big thing. What I end up doing a lot is I talk from my throat, whereas you generally want like a buzz coming out of the front of your mouth when you're speaking. And I can do that when I'm talking really loud, but it still fatigues my voice very quickly. What I need to be able to do is speak at a normal volume, not from my throat, which is much harder than you would think to just do. Yeah.
This is fascinating, Jatt. I like that we get some game analysis and we get to find out what's going on behind the scenes with you. Is there anything, I always offer the pro players, but is there anything you'd like to say to all the Jatt fans out there? Because you guys have a lot of fans as well as the pro players.
I don't know. Critical thinking is key when reading all analysis and stuff. Make sure you're thinking critically about all analysis that exists in the world. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Don't believe everything that I say or others say. Think for yourself. That's it.
I think generally the rule of thumb is you just load up our League of Legends and you click in the comments and whatever is the top comment is what's true, right?
Yeah, that's how it works. 100%.
I think that's how it works. Thank you so much for the interview, Jatt. Really, really good to talk to you after the finals and stuff. Hopefully everything gets in order for you and your voice gets in shape for MSI and all that. Okay. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of all things LCS at GameSpot.com/LOL.